and I was like obsessed with cartoons about like some dude who was an office drone I could not relate to at all. Why did I like that?
I don't know, because you're a weird kid.
I was a weird kid. We are the Armed Attorneys. Today we're talking about an easy way that you can avoid potential false criminal charges being levied against you as a gun owner. It's something we've seen happen, I think, dozens of times at this point, and Emmy got a good reminder about it yesterday, so we're going to talk about it. Before we get started, show your support for the Second Amendment by hitting the like button. And today's episode is brought to you by our friends at SDI. If you're considering gunsmithing, armor courses, just a little bit of continuing education or new education on anything and everything firearm, give our friends at sdi.edu/armed-attorneys a little love. They help support our channel. We very much appreciate them. Check them out.
All right, if you're looking for something to do on Saturday, October the 7th, the Armed Attorneys will be hanging out at Guntoberfest, hosted by GOA.
Yeah, so you can come see the Armed Attorneys speak around lunchtime. There's also lots of training opportunities, free t-shirts, free giveaways. It's very family friendly. It's going to be a good day.
To get your tickets, visit the Guntoberfest website. We'll have that linked in the description below. Come and see us.
We'll see you there.
Now, this all kind of stems from, and we've talked about this in the past, I'm going to invade the purview of the jury a little bit. Emmy got involved in a road rage incident, and so that's kind of what started all of this. But we have had, I will say, dozens of clients over the years falsely accused of brandishing firearms, displaying firearms, producing firearms in their vehicle as it relates to road rage cases. And I think there's a little bit to be learned about this, because those cases are so stinking tough because it's disproving something that didn't happen. The police don't investigate these things, so there's not like this mountain of evidence that you get to pick apart. And so it's always a good tactic, be the gray man, make yourself a small target. And what are kind of the steps that we can do to accomplish those goals? But let's start with what happened to Emmy.
Let's lay the scene. Okay, so I'm driving back from the courthouse complex in Harris County yesterday, and I made, I think, the number one mistake you can make as a Houston driver, which is I put my turn signal on. Because
rookie mistake.
I know. In Houston, that doesn't mean, hi, everyone, I'm changing lanes, watch out. It means speed up, get in front of her real fast, don't let her over. And so I put my turn signal on, I get over, but obviously the person in that lane has decided that, he saw the speed up cue. And so he's very mad that I got in front of him, and all of a sudden he's just road rage, right? He's right on my tail, he's doing the back and forth, he's screaming at me, I can see in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, okay, just ignore him, right? Because as gun owners, that's the best thing we can do, is just not engage. And so all of a sudden he's up next to me and he's screaming at me next to me. And, finally I look over and I'm just like, it's okay, buddy. And, sort of off we go. But then he gets back in front of me and, brake checks ensue, all of that. But I'm just, just driving. But here's the important part, is that I see on the back of his pickup truck every indicator that he's a gun owner you could possibly imagine, like NRA sticker, come and take it, Gadsden flag, right? I mean, literally everything. So I'm thinking to myself, this is what happens to our clients, right? Because we have had, I have had two cases almost go to trial where my client says, we got in a road rage, I never, ever touched my gun, but this guy called the police and said I was flashing a gun at him. And here's the thing. I guarantee pickup truck man had at least one gun in that truck. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and because we've said it before. This is Texas. Everybody has a gun in their car.
Right.
50-50 chance it's a black gun or it's a silver gun.
Right. To quote Miss Congeniality, this is Texas. My florist has a gun.
Yeah,
right. That's what we have, right?
Look, he had a gun. Of course he had a gun. This is Texas. Everybody has a gun. My florist has a gun.
Yeah, all I have to say is he pointed a handgun at me. Black handgun. Gosh, we've had cases in which someone alleged silver handgun. It turned out it was a black handgun, and the police were just like, prosecutors were like, it's easy to get confused. They were wrong about it even.
Yeah.
So it's just, why do that to yourself? And I could not help but think, if I were a bad person looking to get that person in some trouble because he road raged me, call the police, say he flashed a gun, the police would arrest him, and there would be no way for him to prove that it didn't happen. So, as gun people, what steps do we take to prevent this eventuality, Richard.
Yeah, first one, we'll just say, don't engage in road rage.
Don't.
That's the dumbest thing ever. I will say we have a tremendous volume of road rage cases. And guess what? Cops, prosecutors, juries, they hate road rage because you're in your big, safe, metal movable box. There is there's this kind of presumption of a reasonable, safe alternative to engaging in or using force or deadly force. And so those cases are terrible. Also, they're typically one witness cases. So it's just the allegation of another witness, a he said, she said, or a he said. Those cases are really tough, and prosecutors are very reluctant to let go of those things should they proceed. So avoid road rage at all costs. Number 2, make ourselves a small target. And what does that mean?
People are going to get so mad at me for saying this.
Why do you hate the First Amendment?
Why do you hate the First Amendment? I don't hate the First Amendment. But the things on your car that indicate that you are a gun owner or a gun rights supporter, I mean, that's how I knew looking at this pickup truck that guy had a gun in the car, right?
You had a case where it hinged on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I have had this exact case. And so, I mean, you know me, I do guns for a living. I do guns. There is nothing on my personal vehicle that indicates anything about firearms, not just because I think this road rage threat is a real one, but also I don't want my car broken into.
Yeah.
Right? Which is another big threat. I mean, probably more of an issue in the bigger cities than it is in smaller towns, but that is, right, just make yourself a small target.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think you can do to protect yourself is if you find that you've been the victim of one of these false calls, you need to be very, very careful what you say to law enforcement, and you need to call an attorney immediately. So, for example, confirming, right? Let's say police show up at your door, knock, knock, knock. Hey, were you here?
Yeah, I had,
confirming anything, right?
Yeah, I had this exact case. 65-year-old lady allegedly involved in a road rage case. Person stopped their car in front of her car, got out, started aggressively approaching her. All she did was take her handgun out of her center console and place it on her lap, just in case she had to use it. The lady gets back in her car, takes off. We think that's the end of transaction. She gets a call a few days later from a detective saying, hey, we're calling about this incident that you're involved in. Do you know what I'm talking about? Confirmed? Yes. Lady road raged me. Do you have a license to carry? Yes, I have a license to carry. Do you normally keep a gun in your car? I do. Did you pull your gun that day? No, did not pull my gun. But she corroborated enough of the other person's story to secure a warrant, and they knocked over her house like she was a 25 to life gangbanger.
Well, and it turned out the woman had accused her of shooting at the vehicle. I mean, it was just crazy accusation. But yeah, I mean, she confirmed, I was there. I remember the incident. I've got a gun. That was enough for a warrant. So, I mean, we don't want, if police,
any statements,
right? If they call you, if they show up, it's, don't confirm you have a car. I mean, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Just
even little things like, are you the only person that drives that car? Yes. Boom.
No.
Story corroborated.
Exactly. So just, officers, I do not know what this is about, and I am not going to speak to you until I have spoken to my attorney. Now, nothing is guaranteed, but I can almost guarantee they do not have enough in that moment to make an arrest.
No.
Until you start talking. So they should go away. You should have a chance to find and call an attorney to take over for you. That is probably the best thing you can do if you find yourself in the situation. But best practice is take away the things that could put you there in the first place.
Yeah. The uncorroborated story of a single witness. Most states will support a conviction based on the testimony of a single witness. But we will find, just as a general practice, police departments, sheriff's departments, law enforcement, they don't want to go off of just one person. They want something that gives an indicia of reliability, something to corroborate it. And if you don't provide that, then you might save your own bacon.
Yep. I know it can be difficult, right? Again, take your stickers off your car. I know Emmy hates the First Amendment. I don't, but it's just a good safety.
Don't you sell stickers in your store?
Just don't put them on your car. It's just a good safety practice, and just keep your cool while you're driving. I know, I get it. I live by the rule that everyone driving slower than me is a dumbass and everybody driving faster than me is a lunatic. I get it, but you have to just control that when you're a gun owner because you are at risk. You can't give in to it.
But we hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, consider subscribing and hitting that like button, and help us fight the anti-2A algorithm by sharing this video.
And take a look at this video we've got here. It doesn't just stop at your car. Anything you've got that's up prominent can be used against you. You might want to reconsider what you're putting out there to the public. Until next time, we're the Armed Attorneys.
Sorry, man, you've lost all your, not because of me, but you don't have gun rights. It's not my fault. I wish I could just give him some chocolate chip cookie dough or something.
Yeah.